When I think of both of them, even now, I think, you're no one from nowhere. And you've been to the South and North Pole. And I don't think about it a lot, but when I do, if I really spend the time, I think, wow, who'd have ever thought it? And I do get a lot of pleasure from it. I don't think I'm great or I've got this big ego, oh, look at me, I'm amazing. But I sometimes have to pinch myself and go, oh, wow, you did it, girl.
What do you notice that's after your previous adventure? What do you notice immediately that's different when you get to Antarctica? Was it the wind? Was it colder? Was it? What was it? Just explain to me.
Everything, really. Again, that's a really interesting question, which I hadn't thought about. But when we went, there were just us, the five of us. When we went to the North Pole, we had guides. So there was always somebody who would know the answers or who would help us. This time it's just us. And so there was the fear of, oh, what if we can't do it? So there was a different fear when we got there. And we knew when we set off, all on our own, when we were taken in with the plane and the plane leaves us and it's just us. And we looked at each other and went, oh, it's down to us. There is nobody to help us. And we all were equal. What was different was also we all had our own skills that we had known about. So we took on a role, whereas in the North Pole, we were just part of the team and we didn't even know our role. So I was navigator. Somebody else did mostly the cooking, and somebody else would. So we each was doing the weather check. We had a physio who became our doctor. So we each had roles, and we were each leading our own part of it, if you will. But we were equal but together. And it was very different, a little bit more exposed, but we became a really cohesive team. It was great to watch or to feel it change. When we first arrived on Antarctica, we were all very different individuals. When you're living in that kind of an environment, it doesn't matter whether you're rich, you're poor, you have a big car, or you cycle, or your dad's a barrister or is a coal man. It doesn't matter. What matters is you're back to who you are, the bare bones of you as an individual, and that counts. And it was really interesting to understand that we all try and put our best faces on when we're in public or at work or at any time, and we do that. It's a part of our nature. When you're together for 60 days without a break, you can't put your best faces on. It is who you are. And what was really nice was that kind of understanding is, I am going to always do my best for the team, but I'm not always going to be my best self. And it's okay sometimes to just not be right. I might even be mean one day, or I might not be bothered, or I might not be my perfect self. And that was all right too.
Describe one or two really dark moments for me.
I think the dark moments were, the South Pole can be quite monotonous. It sounds terrible, but when you get there, it's beautiful. The skies are huge. The ice is gorgeous. There's sculptures. But of course, when you're in anything 24 hours, it does become your normal sights. And so some of the darker days where the wind is just blowing at you, you can feel your fingers solidifying with the cold, and you've got to wheel them. And then when the warmth comes into your fingers that have got cold, then they burn like they're on fire, the pain. The same happens with your toes. You can feel the wind, and as you're breathing, or you have to have your head face covered, it freezes. And you have stalactites coming down from your nose. It's just a hostile environment. You're on day, let's say 22, and you've got days and days of more of the same, putting one foot in front of the other. And those days were sometimes tough.
I've been out on expeditions, climbing mountains and stuff, and I know how much more refreshed and how good you feel if you get a chance to wash. It just seems to give you energy and the ability to be positive and just to feel good. But you've not had the benefit of doing that for a long period of time. How good was that shower at the scientific base?
It was great. One of the things about doing that kind of thing in the cold is because you can't smell each other. Like, you don't, when you're in your fridge, you don't smell it. So there was always that. But you could smell yourself in your bag in the morning. Oh, it was fantastic. But one shower wasn't enough to get the dirt off, and we were all trying, because there was only, I think there was 2 showers that we could use. We're all trying to get in. So we could have a quick one and then went back in for another one so we could all have a go. And I just didn't want to get out. That feeling of just being clean. And as a female, I think this is particular to us. We're just used to waxing and shaving all the time. And that was the worst, the odd things when I looked under my arms and thought, oh, it wasn't the dirt. Oh my gosh, what is all that? That's just awful. So getting a razor was for me better than the shower.
and tell me, when people achieve great things like you did, getting to the South Pole, can you just tell me, was the feeling of reaching that point as amazing as we would guess it was, or was it amazing just for a couple of minutes and then almost it faded away?
No, it was amazing as you guess it was. It still is if I allow. I don't think about it really very often, but if I think about it, I think, wow, we did that. And not that many females were doing it in 2000 as well. And actually, after that, we did the whole thing to the North Pole after the relay. And so we sort of became the first women to do both poles. The North Pole has never been repeated by a women's team from land to the North Pole. And so when I think of both of them, even now, I think, good God, Anne. I think everybody's somewhere. So please take this next statement in context. I think everybody's someone. I don't think nobody's no one. I think you're no one from nowhere. And you've been to the South and North Pole. And I don't think about it a lot, but when I do, if I really spend the time, I think, wow, who'd have ever thought it? And I do get a lot of pleasure from it. I don't think I'm great or I haven't got this big ego. Oh, look at me, I'm amazing. But I sometimes have to pinch myself and go, oh, wow, you did it, girl.
If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, then you can click over there and get more episodes. But if you click over there, you can subscribe. And if you subscribe, you're going to get me coming at ya like Cleopatra.